This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. Violeta Parra is the musician you've been listening to as we return to our exclusive interview with the ousted Honduran President, Manuel Zelaya. Mr. President, some see the coup in Honduras as a new strategy against progressive, independent governments in Latin America. Can you put the conflict, the coup, in a larger context in Latin America right now?
Con todo gusto.
I'd be pleased to.
El golpe de Honduras lo da un grupo de
The coup in Honduras was made by a group of ambitious businessmen that want to maintain their privileges associated to multinational companies with political puppets and corrupt military. Trying to give it an ideological tint, left, right, Chavism, U.S. right, is an intent to change the face of the coup and to distract attention to other ideological problems when the problem are the economic privileges of the sectors that want to maintain it.
Do you plan to visit Washington again?
As long as I'm invited, I'll go to Washington, to the OAS or the United Nations or the Department of State, Congress, the Senate. This month I went to Washington 5 times to respond to these invitations.
Has the Obama administration invited you now to come back from Nicaragua to Washington?
No,
they invited me once, and I went to speak with Secretary Clinton, but they have not invited me since.
What did Hillary Clinton tell you?
¿Qué es lo que le
and
dijo?
What did you tell her?
Bueno, la señora Clinton
Mrs. Clinton suggested Arias's mediation to me, and I accepted it. I went to those negotiations, and I think that the United States now has a great responsibility because the negotiations did not produce the desired results, and they have a greater need to resolve this coup than other countries.
Do you think that the coup government is trying to just run out the clock until the election?
No, I think they want to legitimize the elections through my return. But the 2 candidates participating approved the coup, supported the coup, and that's like legitimizing the coup through other people. The elections should be held, but in a broad and democratic way, not with the coup regime, because it would be like extortion for the candidates.
Do you see a split in the coup government?
Yes, of course. There's division in the armed forces, in the society. They have installed a repressive regime that's only sustained by arms. When the armed forces remove their support from the coup regime, 5 minutes later, they will have to leave power.
Can you talk about the significance of the Nobel Peace Prize winners and their role in the process against the coup? Pérez Esquivel, Rigoberto Menchú, as well as Oscar Arias.
President Arias did what he could. He dealt with the coup leaders with kid gloves, but he did what he could, responding to his limitations, and I am grateful to him for what he was able to do.
Rigoberto Menchú, about 3 days into the coup, went to report on the human rights situation in Honduras.
Yes, she has been condemning the coup and has done so very firmly. I think this is good action, and it speaks well of her.
Can you talk about the role of the church in the coup, please?
The church is divided. The cardinal, the only cardinal before the Vatican in Honduras, conspired with the coup leaders. He betrayed the people, the poor. He took off his robes to put on a military uniform, and with his words, he really contributed to the assassinations that have taken place in Honduras.
What about the beating of the priests Andres Tamayo and Padre Fausto Mia leading a protest against the coup?
Todas las organizaciones de las organizaciones sociales
all the social organizations
llevan 32 días de frente al golpe
have
con
been
mucha
in
firmeza
opposition very
y han
firmly
hablado
for
muy
32
bien
days
de
against
la
the coup.
capacidad de
They
resistir
have,
del pueblo
which speaks
y
very
de
well
no
of the
aceptar una
ability to
dictadura y no
resist
aceptar un golpe de Estado.
and to not accept a coup d'etat.
What reports, Mr. President, do you have of the human rights situation right now in Honduras? The murders, the beatings, the bombings?
Hay miles de presos
There are
detenidos,
thousands
hay
of
allanamientos de moradas
prisoners.
sin orden judicial.
There are illegal entries without search warrants into homes. Civilian rights have been denied. There's a state of siege. There's not freedom of movement or press. Youth are being assassinated. There is terror like we have never seen in Honduras in this new 21st century coup.
And the role of Billy Hoya, who was one of the heads of Battalion 316, notorious for its human rights abuse in the early 1980s, his role today as the security aide to Micheletti.
Él tiene varios procesos pendientes por violaciones a los derechos